oh my goodness, bodybuilder Sonya Robinson like takes the cake as somebody who really is like the embodiment of what anybody could be if they put their mind to it.
Exactly.
You know, it's like we got a chance in this special episode, throwback episode, which we're nearing the end of, by the way.
Right.
Exciting.
Only a couple more weeks.
Only a couple more weeks of these throwback episodes, and we hope to get back to our normal, regular scheduled program, so to speak. But Sonya Robinson, man, like she's a competitive, she's
bodybuilder, bikini contestant as well.
Competitive.
I had no idea these bikinis are extremely expensive.
So expensive.
What?
Yeah. So she breaks down like the 101 of everything you need to know about this. It's a complicated sport. Like it's a sport, man. Like you got to train for this shit. And I think it gave me a deeper respect, especially listening to it again. A deeper respect for just the dedication and passion that you have. Like the diet, man. I couldn't do the diet.
I know. And just like dealing with having to pick a new outfit every time and being judged on the outfit and how many, this is too sparkly. No. Like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, it's got to be
Look
tough
at my biceps.
to put in so much work and then be at the mercy of other people's opinions. You know?
Kind of like Stream of Thought.
Yeah, kind of like that. A little bit. Yeah. But again, if you don't know what we're talking about, this whole summer we've been doing a little special segment of Stream of Thought. Go back to our special announcement episode between episodes 94 and 95 for greater context and more detail as to what's been happening. Only a couple more weeks left in this. But Stream of Thought featuring Sonya Robinson. We hope you enjoy. All right, so on today's episode of Straight Up, we have our guest, Sonya Robinson. Miss Robinson left corporate America a while ago to pursue her dreams in fitness. She is a personal trainer as well as an NPC bikini competitor. Sonya, welcome to the show. How's it going?
Thank you. Good. Thanks for having me.
So for, I think, some of our viewers who have never really heard of what you said, bikini competitor. Mm-hmm. What exactly is a bikini competitor?
So the organization that I compete is NPC, National Physique Committee. Within that division, within that organization, there's 4 divisions: bikini, figure, physique, and bodybuilding. And in that order, it's kind of like the most feminine to the most, or least feminine, I should say. So bikini division, we've got some muscle mass, a higher percent of body fat percentage. That kind of the judges are looking more so for a full lean package rather than like the striations, the bulging quads, the lat spread. So it's very feminine looking competition. So that's, I would say, the main difference between that division compared to the other 3, in which there's more muscle mass, less body fat percentage, and just less feminine look, I should say.
Okay. Fair.
I got it. So it's like really, it's like fitness, but it's like girly fitness. Can I say that?
A bit.
Yeah.
Slightly. Yeah.
I mean, like you guys are in heels on stage.
Yes. And figure and bikini are both in heels. Physique and bodybuilding, they do not wear heels.
Okay, cool. What made you want to do this?
The mental challenge. So when I graduated college, I went to abroad, taught English for 2.5 years in Korea. Then I traveled the world for 6 months. And then I came back and I started working corporate America.
Okay.
And I was sitting there one day and I'm just like, is this my life? Like, how did I go 2.5 years living life, experiencing all these different cultures and just everything, and then just coming to 4 walls of a cubicle. So I was already working out and I was just thinking like I should start competing because it's all mental. Like, you can't get me out of the gym. That's not the hard part. It's the having to sit down and be like, all right, I have to eat this. I have to do this. I have to say no to this. And in corporate America, it's very difficult because you've got client lunches, you've got happy hour, you've got moms baking cookies, bringing them into the kitchen, and it's all mental. So I needed something to be able to say, hey, I need a goal. I need to obtain it. 12 weeks, I have to do this. I step on stage for about 10 seconds. All this hard work for 10 seconds. Is it worth it? Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely.
So it's just like you live for like the rush, like
that
the adrenaline rush when you're on stage.
You get that 10 seconds to showcase everything you've done, those 12 weeks of hard work, grueling sacrifices, the time that you spend in the gym, the time that you say no to your friends because you don't want to go out being tempted. You'd much rather sleep because you're exhausted. It's the sacrifice you make to do it. To me, it's worth it. Some people might think I'm crazy, but it was that mental challenge that I needed.
Okay. So what's that 10 seconds like? Is it, I mean,
You're on stage, everybody's eyes are on you, so if you're kind of have stage fright, it might not be the best feeling in the world, but for me, it's like, I've got 10 seconds to showcase all my hard work, everything I've done, everything to prove to everyone. The one thing about competing, it's very subjective, especially bikini, because it's like one show, your top 5 girls, it can be one girl's super lean, one girl's not so lean, one girl's not as much muscle. It's very, very subjective, and it's kind of like who you know almost. So placing wise, it's always, everyone always wants to win. I've been lucky enough to my first 2 shows, I placed second, qualified for nationals, but then I did national shows twice. I got last call outs on both shows. So it's a humbling experience. It's a learning experience, but then it's more so, how do you improve yourself? Like show to show, you're improving yourself, and it's not more so for what the judges think. Even though the ultimate goal for me is to obtain my pro card to be a professional competitor, but in the end, it's like you're in the hands of these judges who God knows what they're looking for. But it's more so, how did I improve this show from last show? What did I learn this show that made me a better, mentally, physically, emotionally, everything? Because, like I said, it's a mental game. So
okay. So an entire show, or it's 10 seconds.
You get judging wise. If it's a 1-day show, prejudging is done in the morning, and then the night show is done in the evening. So in prejudging, that's when you get called up, about 7-10 girls, depending on how big the class is. And the judges will line you up. You'll do a front pose, you do a side pose, back to the front, then you walk off stage. That's when the judges actually tally up, like, oh, this is her score, this is what we liked about her, and whatnot. And then at the night show, it's even quicker. You get less time on the stage. You go out one at a time, do your routine, come off, and then they award the winners.
Wow.
So what's your workout routine and diet like for these 12 weeks?
12 weeks? Training wise, it never changes. I lift 5 days a week. I hit every body part. I do high volume training. So one day would be legs, one day would be shoulders, one day chest tries, one day back and bis. So 5 days, so 2 days on, 1 day off, 3 days on, 1 day off, and it's a rotation. The only thing that's different is the amount of cardio I do. So in the off season, I actually do it to where I'm not doing any cardio, because I like cardio, but
cardio sucks.
It's not the biggest.
It really sucks.
Cardio can kick rocks.
Oh my goodness.
I'd much rather do.
I like cardio.
I would much rather do high intensity interval training, which is 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off.
Yes.
That is like 20
really
minutes rather than like 45 or an hour minute of steady state cardio. But mainly the cardio and the diet changes. Overall, I stay pretty lean throughout the year, so I don't have to go through a grueling 12 weeks to drop 20 pounds. So my eating is very healthy. I eat a lot of complex carbs. I eat a lot of simple carbs, healthy fats, lean proteins. It's just the amount that I eat, in competition seasons. Obviously, I'm going to be in a caloric deficit rather than being at maintenance or caloric surplus in the off season.
I have no idea what you just said.
I know, right? Sonya's talking in those sciencey fitness
caloric,
something. So the amount of calories I eat during in prep and then off prep is the main difference. Okay. So obviously in prep, I'm eating less because I need to.
How much research did all this take for you to, get this down right off the top?
A lot. I do a lot, and that's the funny thing. Like while I was in corporate America, like the couple of sites that I would be on my computer, like bodybuilding.com or muscle and strength development or women's fitness XR, like those are the ones cool. Like every time my boss would walk by, I'd be like, look, all right. I'm working.
I was not looking at that.
Yeah. And then that's the embarrassing thing too, because like there'd be like half naked pictures of people, and it's not like I'm not looking at porn. I'm like looking at people at the gym. And I'm just like, oh my god, please don't.
That. Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
I'm not looking at porn at the office. I promise.
No judgment.
Oh man, You ever done a CrossFit workout, Sonya?
I've tried CrossFit before. I had like one of those complimentary sessions at a CrossFit studio. So.
Okay, what'd you think about that?
It's different. It's challenging. To each their own. I hear a lot of people talk negatively about it, saying it's not safe. But I think if you,
it's not safe. I haven't heard that one about CrossFit, but that's interesting.
But like I said, to each their own. If you like something, whether it's Zumba or group fitness classes, CrossFit, anything, Pilates, yoga, whatever, as long as you incorporate form, that's the most important thing. Even in bodybuilding, form over everything. Like don't try to overcompensate with heavy weights and then you end up squatting wrong and you like pull your back or something. So it's not worth it. So as long as you're safe with it, I think if you like it, you enjoy it, do it.
Cool. That's what's up.
How intense is the competition?
It's pretty intense, you know. My first show, I think there were some girls where I was just kind of looking at them. I was like, damn, like I hope I fared, you know, fairly with them. And then there's some girls that you just think that just because they're slim, they think they can compete, and it's like, no, you actually have to put the time in to put on that muscle mass. So
how, like, because like I read a lot about the female fitness industry and kind of like what's happening with that, like supplements, juicing, steroids. Talk a little bit about that. Like, what's the whole thing with that?
Okay,
ladies?
So for bikini, there isn't much use for steroids just because you're not putting on that much muscle mass. The division is very more so feminine, so I don't think it's necessary for bikini girls to do steroids.
Got you.
Figure, physique, and bodybuilding, because they have so much more muscle mass, it's a possibility that they're using, but who am I to say? You know, I can't pinpoint that. There are some girls who use some fat burners in the bikini division, more stronger than what you can buy like in a store, like the fat burning supplements and whatnot. But again, to each their own. You know, if they need it, they need it.
Yeah.
If they can't do it through hard work with dieting and exercising, then you know it's on them.
Yeah.
So.
Got you.
So you had mentioned that you're trying to go for your pro card. Mm-hmm. So what does this industry look like? I mean, it sounds like there's, you know, certain levels that you try to get to.
Right.
Is there like a national organization?
So in order to get to the national level, you have to do a pro qualifying show, and I think it allows you to stay pro qualified or national qualified, for about 2 years. Okay. So every 2 years you might have to requalify for a national show, and for NPC there are 7 national shows throughout the year. The 2 that I've done are based in Chicago, Rosemont, Junior National. It's a highly known, popular show compared to the other 7. I would say Junior Nationals and Nationals are probably the most popular ones. But in order to get to that level, you have to place in a national qualifying show, in which you either place top 5 or top 3, depending on which national show you want to do.
So is it like sports of or activities of a similar caliber in professional level? I mean, are people able to make like a living off of doing this?
They are. If you go pro, depending on the pro shows that you do, if you win, there's an ultimate show called Olympia, which is held in Vegas in September. And this is where like Phil Heath or I don't know if you're familiar with Ashley Cotswater.
I know Phil Heath. That's, you said in Vegas? Mm-hmm. That's like his spot, yes. Right? That's his area. So there's monetary rewards if you do win pro shows, and then that can lead doors to, you know, endorsements, different fitness models, like projects, covers on magazines, all that stuff. So cool.
If you get like your pro card, and then for whatever reason you take time, like say you take a year or 2 or 3 years off, are you able to just jump right in where you started?
Yeah.
Like after, so once you obtain the pro, it's like you have it. It's not like you can risk losing it based on
time
competitions or time off.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's a lot of women in the industry who choose to start a family, so they won't compete for, you know, whatever many years, or they want to get married, or they just want to experience life, and you know. To compete, it takes a lot, and you're very structured in your eating, your gym schedule. So if you want to take that time to actually live, have a marriage, get married, go on a honeymoon, you're gonna have to take time off.
It's very disciplined.
Yeah.
Like I watched it. Have you met Phil Heath? Sonya?
Not in person.
Man.
But the next show that I'm doing in March, he's going to be the guest poser in St. Louis. So I'm going. So hopefully I'll be able to meet him.
Yeah. Talk to that brother about like what he does to work, because like it's like everything is so strict and regimented. Like see these guys, like they get cranky, and some of these girls like it's like this is their life. You know, it's like more than work. Like a lot of them take it really seriously, and it's kind of scary when you don't take it seriously in front of them, because they don't have kind things to say about that. Yeah. So
what do you appreciate the most about this activity?
I would say the people that I meet. Like, even though I'm competing with them at the shows, we share a bond, because it's like we all have this ultimate goal where fitness is our top priority, mentally challenging ourselves is our top priority, and you're not going to get this with, you know, other people who are just like fitness enthusiasts at the gym, everyone likes to work out, sure, but
so this is like a special bond.
It's kind of almost, not a cult, but it's kind of like essentially our own little cult, because it's like you have this bond with this person because it's just like they understand what it took to get there.
Again, let me go back to this documentary. Like Phil Heath was like, they were hanging out, and then there were some hecklers, and they were saying things about the industry, and they were yelling at guy and girl bodybuilders, and they're like, "You guys are all a bunch of juicers," and like this girl like lost it.
Yeah.
And like she was like maybe your side, but she got like red in the face, and like started flexing, and her traps started like throttling, and I was like, whoa, like it was just crazy, like how much work like gets put into the industry, and people like don't appreciate it too much, you know?
Yeah, so. And you see that a lot on like social media. A lot of people will put their 2 cents, either saying something negative or positive, and it's just like, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Like, keep your opinions to yourself, because it's like you don't know what that person had to go through to get where they are today. Like the amount of work and sacrifice they're putting in, it's a lot. I mean, like I said, some people might use some extra help here and there with the steroids and whatnot, but either way, it's like, who are you to judge and say, oh, that's not attractive on a man to be that big, or for a woman to be that, lean and shredded. So
yeah, that's interesting, because like what is the audience that you're doing this for, and what how does that prevent you from being able to communicate to sort of the wider world that has those judgments?
So I think for the audience, more specifically in my organization that I do it, they're all very understanding. They understand what we're doing, what it takes to get there. I think people on the outside kind of, especially, so my division, like I said, it's the most feminine division. So it's kind of like when they see me in the pictures that I post, or if they see me in the gym, they're like, oh, it's obtainable. It's not too much, but it's not far out reach. Like it's not obtainable, Yeah. But then some people, like I said, they have their preferences, and they'll see me in the gym. They're like, no, she's got too much muscle. And honestly, I don't even have that much. I mean, look at me, like you can't even really tell. Like it's not like I'm walking around flexing all day, Like when I flex, you'll see the definition, you'll see the muscle. But if I'm sitting here normal, I look like a regular person.
That's like really tricky to like work so damn hard, and then you're at the mercy of like, how many judges are there? Like 5 judges?
Yeah, anywhere from 5 to 10, depending on the show.
People that are completely different, and they have their own opinion as to what is perfection and what is not. And I think like when I remember watching the Olympics with my mom sometimes, she's always like, stuff with gymnasts or anything where you get judged. It's like not a race against the clock where it's black and white. It's like you have several different competitors, and based on their professional opinions, that's who's the winner and who's the place and so on.
And
like
even if what makes it more complicated, it's not even just your body. Like you can have the best package on the stage, but then they look at the bikini, they look at your presentation, they look at your tan, they look at your makeup, your hair, and your posing. Posing is the most important thing, because if you can't strut your stuff on the stage in a light that's gonna accentuate and kind of just make everything come to package, you'll get docked for it.
I didn't know they judge you on like your actual bikini. Like so if it's real sparkly and someone doesn't like sparkles, they're gonna knock a few points off.
Possibly, yes, but then it's even more so like the quality of the suit.
Okay.
And that's the thing about competitions. Like it's a very, very hefty investment. These suits will run you $200, $300, $400.
Damn.
Shoes will run you $500 to $550.
A $400 two-piece?
Yes.
Wow.
Figure suits cost even more. Like the most I paid for a suit was probably like $285.
So do you wear a different suit for each competition, or do you keep the same one sometimes?
I had two. I have a total of 3 suits.
Okay.
I've done a total of 4 shows.
Got it.
So one suit I've worn twice, and then the other ones I've worn once.
Oh, I like this girl, but she's wearing the same one from the last competition. I'm gonna knock a few points off.
Yeah, so it's a very, like I said, it's a very, very financially hefty investment you're making in these shows, because not only are you paying, like the suits you can wear multiple times or you can sell them, whatever, but the jewelry you have to pay for, the tanning, it's about $100, $125 for a show. Registering for the show, NPC card itself to compete for the year, you pay $120 to do that.
Do you have any sponsors that help you out with this, or how does that realm work?
I do have
with
sponsors.
Finances?
The team that I'm on Underrated Muscle. We have a sponsorship through Ravish Sands, so we get a little bit of monetary help with the suits that they provide. We have a sponsor. I have a sponsorship with ProTan, so we get a discount with the tanning. All Glitters and Gem is the jewelry company that I have a sponsorship with, so we get a discount there. And then a supplement company, Lenny and Larry's, we get a discount with them as well. Okay. So that helps, but it's still very, very expensive.
Is there a point at all in people's careers where they just will never get to a point where they never ever have to worry about money, or is it attainable for someone like that's starting out or has been doing it for just a few years to get connected with the right people where that individual too does not have to worry about the cost of supplements and registration, all this other stuff, just as someone who's way up here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think it's the latter, like depending on how you market yourself, your networking skills, who you know, social media plays a huge role in it too. The more followers you have, the more chances you'll get sponsors because you have a base that you can sell their products to.
What's it like for your dating experience being like a fitness model? Like you meet a guy and then you're like, oh, I'm a fitness model. Does he kind of like, are they very forthcoming about what you do?
Well, luckily for me, I'm in a relationship. My boyfriend is a personal trainer, so he's in the field. He doesn't compete himself, but
it's back to that empathy, man.
He's one of those guys where it's like, he's blessed with good looks, good genetics. He works very hard, don't get me wrong. He's in the gym. He works out as much as anybody else. But he's lucky enough to where he can eat whatever he wants and still look. So
he doesn't work as hard as you.
He doesn't. He works just as hard, but the eating part, he can afford to, have a burger and fries multiple times in a week and still have 6-pack abs. Yeah.
There's a lot of people like that.
That's some quality metabolism.
So, but he's very understanding of like when I start prep and how strict I am with my eating regimen and my habits. And I know sometimes it's not the best look when I'm like, if we're out like at the movies and I have to like pull out my Tupperware out of my purse, but he's understanding. So
that's crazy.
That's cool that you have someone that can help keep you accountable.
Oh
too.
yeah, the support system, it helps. Having your family support you, it helps. Friends that are understanding, it helps. But then again, you lose a lot of friends too because they're just kind of like, why don't you just skip the gym today, or here have one bite.
Yeah. That's the difference, though, like, for someone like me, if one of these guys said, hey, just skip the gym for the day, I can do that. Yeah. But, like, what you were saying way before, when how regimented and strict it is, it's like you barely have enough time for yourself after going through the motion of training.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm wondering, is there that, do you believe that there's that perception out there that women who are bodybuilders are seen in a more negative light?
For sure. Okay. Definitely. Because I even
had... Yeah, and, like, have you had to, like, deal with that? Have you had personal experiences where... I mean, maybe you have... I don't know if you've had any, like, feminists come at you and say, like, what are you doing? Like, putting yourself out there? I don't know.
No, I... So, like I said, I just recently quit my corporate America job and went to training full-time. So, in order for me to build up my clientele, I have to market myself at the gym. So, I had a table out with a few pictures of me, like, on competition day. And I had, like, a layout of, like, a weekly schedule of my lifts and a sample of my diet to try to just talk to females and be like, hey, if you're interested, this is kind of like a day of a week of my life. This is how it looks. And I had one lady who was like, oh, what's this table for? I'm like, oh, I'm trying to, talk to some females about competing if they're interested, what it takes, what it looks like. And she was looking at the pictures and she's like, that's you? And I'm like, yes, that's me. She's like, you compete? And I was like, yes, I compete. And just the way she said it was very degrading. And it's just kind of like, how could you do that to yourself? Like, why would you do that to yourself?
Yes. And I feel like because of that, Sonya, like, girls are reluctant to lift.
Yes.
Like, I say it to
definitely.
I'll ask girls, like, hey, would you like to come lift with me? And they're like, I mean, I'll work out, but I'm not lifting. I'm like, why? Like, I spot you, you spot me. Like, it's a team thing,
And it's like, it's the lack of knowledge and the misconception that they think that if they pick up a 10-pound dumbbell, they're just going to explode and have some Arnold Schwarzenegger arms.
I know. I don't want to be like a man. Like, I've heard that so many times.
Women do not have enough... They don't produce enough testosterone in their body. They're not... You would have to lift super duper heavy, and I'm talking about like 50-pound dumbbells for years and years and years, eating a ton of... protein.
We're doing that. Just beefing up. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's just, there's no way for you, in order to get that big, it's not going to happen overnight. Putting on muscle, men and women, it takes time. For women, it takes even more time just because we don't produce testosterone. So it's not like you're going to do this 12 times and then bam, you've got 22-inch arms. Like, it's not going to happen.
That's what I've been saying. Ladies, it's okay to lift. Like, it's more than okay.
And if they want to change their body composition, they have to lift. Because running,
yeah,
cardio...
What are the benefits of lifting for
so
just the
many
average
benefits.
person, average woman?
For men and women, the increase of muscle. If you have more muscle mass on you, you're going to burn more calories in a state of rest. So if your goal is to lose weight, you're better off lifting than you are doing just cardio. Cardio is going to burn calories just in that 45-minute, hour session that you're doing. Lifting, it's going to increase the muscle mass. It's going to burn calories throughout the day, post-workout, throughout the night, when you're sleeping, continuously.
Okay.
That and it builds up stronger bones, stronger muscles, stronger body, prevents injuries. So when you're older, you're prone to more injuries just because you get older, your bones get weaker, osteoporosis. Yeah. Lifting can prevent all that. So there's a plethora of benefits to lifting. That and it's a stress reliever.
Thank you. I love when people agree with me. It just makes my life easier. Yeah. You know?
This is the Neil Batang show.
I saw a guy when I was in Colorado a couple years ago. I met this guy and he exercised regularly and he was like an active guy, biking and hiking and all. And he's like, guess how old I am? He was talking to someone else. And I'm thinking, like, this guy's 55. And that's what the guy had said. He's like, oh, like 55, 56. I'm 72. What? You look
I
like
love
you're
your
in
anecdote.
your 50s.
Very, very amusing.
From exercising.
Yeah.
That's what he was like. It's from
young.
regularly exercising and just being active.
So what would be a solid recommended workout regimen for just the average person?
I would say strength training anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week, and then incorporating some cardio there because it's heart health, so you need it. That maybe about 2 or 3 times a week. So in total, you're looking at 3-4 times a week, depending on your schedule.
How many hours each session?
I mean, depending on what your goals are. When I'm lifting, my lifting sessions take anywhere from 45 to an hour, hour and a half max. Leg day is usually the long day just because it's a bigger muscle group. Shoulders I can bang out in 45 minutes.
Look at Neil just smiling.
I'm loving this talk right now. Like, I just love talking about fitness, man.
That's because probably that's the exact thing that he does. 45 minutes to an hour, hour and a half. As long as you say whatever he's thinking, he's just going to be super happy. Make it easier.
I'm doing it right.
I'm sorry, like, you know, because, like, yeah, I mean, these guys played sports. We all played sports in high school. And, like, I think we've done a pretty good job, like, staying fit. And we all look good, so it's just refreshing to know that we're on our shit, you know?
That's good, yeah, for sure. I mean,
I'm not going to apologize for my hard work.
Yeah, so. You only have one body, so you got to take care of it.
Cool.
Sonya, what's the, you ever go to the gym and you just look at someone and you're like, what exercise is this person doing? Share some what are some quirky gym habits that you've witnessed or exercises that you've witnessed people do?
A lot of the guys, like I said, form over everything, and a lot of men tend to overcompensate with the weight. So example, tricep extensions or tricep push downs on a cable. You push down, keeping your elbows close to your side, fully extending to work your triceps. These guys will kind of hunch over, throw their chest into it, and kind of just like sway their whole body, just bringing it up and down.
Neil's not smiling. I think that's him. I think that's him.
Dude. Don't overcompensate.
So you don't know if they're doing like tricep extensions or doing like a crunch or it's confusing sometimes.
Have you ever like tapped someone on the shoulder, something like, "Hey, bro, like this is what you need to do. I'm trying to get." Have you ever done that?
I haven't. I think more so, like especially as a personal trainer at my gym, people don't like being told that they're doing something wrong. So you have to be very cognizant in how you approach it, especially if I'm a female approaching a man. Saying like, "Excuse me, sir, you should probably do less weight and focus on your form." It's not a good look.
I would cancel that gym membership.
Exactly. So you have to be very, very mindful of how you approach it. Yeah. Maybe say something like, "Oh, here's another way of another exercise that you could do to work that muscle." And show them the proper form that way instead of going up to them and be like, "You're not doing it right."
I would love to see like Neil at the gym being approached by someone just like you, and then see what his reaction is.
I'd probably ask her to work out with me afterward. Like, you want to just work out with me and continue this conversation? And for her phone number, like, to be honest. But we'll see. Man.
So do you train people as well as train yourself? Like, do you have...
For competitions?
Yeah.
I don't. Okay. Anyone who's interested in competing, I always refer them to my coach just because I feel like competing-wise, it's a whole nother level compared to everyday fitness. Your regular fitness enthusiasm enthusiasts at the gym or the ones who are trying to lose weight or put on muscle mass, I can help them then. But for competitions, I feel like that's just a whole nother ballpark, and I just too much pressure, and I don't want to be, because a lot of people will be like, oh, if I don't place at a show, it's my coach's fault. Yeah. Which isn't true. It's, you know, the judges look for what they look for, and if you aren't what they're looking for, unfortunately, you're not going to place. So,
is your coach Sonya a guy or a girl?
He's a guy.
He's a guy.
His name is Dave Hintz. Okay. Shout out to Dave.
Shout out to Dave.
Underrated muscle.
Okay. Where do you work out at?
FFC, Gold Coast. But then I have membership at other FFCs, so I kind of just hop around. And at Export as well. That's
the expensive one, right? FFC?
It's a little bit more expensive than
I feel like I took a tour up there and I was just like, I don't know if my wallet's taking it. You know, but it's a really nice complex, and there's like a lot. They've got an outdoor pool too, I think.
The one that I work out of, not, but they have an indoor pool.
Okay.
So some gyms are a little bit different. Some have basketball courts, some don't. Some have some other amenities, and some don't. So.
Cool. How much do you find yourself educating yourself with fitness and stuff? Like, I'm sure when you decided to do this, it's one thing to like do it, and that's one thing to learn the science behind it with the body and all that. So talk a little bit about education. How does that balance with the actual physical work?
Education is something like every day. I'm always reading some type of article, trying to learn about anything and everything, just because every person is different. So you have to figure out what works for other people. In terms of eating habits, in terms of the workouts, and a lot in this industry, you see a lot of coaches who just give people cookie cutter workouts and cookie cutter programs, in which they just give one program to every single person. And that's not going to work, because everyone is different. They have different needs. Their body will react different to the amount of food they're eating, the amount of cardio they're doing. So it's imperative that when you're looking for a coach, that you do your research and see somebody who's going to actually cater to your needs, and not just like, oh, here's your workout, check in with me in 3 weeks and let's see how you're doing. Like, you've got to be very mindful. And for me, even taking that knowledge to my clients, even though they're not competing, same thing applies to them. I have to be able to tailor the workouts for their needs, their goals, and the nutrition aspect as well. Not everyone likes to eat chicken. Not everyone likes to eat rice. So it's what other alternatives are there for them? Exactly. Some are vegan, some are vegetarian. So you've got to be mindful of that. So the knowledge base, I'm constantly learning.
That must be so tricky if someone's like a vegetarian or vegan and they're like, I want to put on muscle. We might have a problem.
A lot of beans, a lot of tofu.
Yeah. That's what's up.
So how do you feel like, you've been at this for 2 years now, how do you feel like this has changed you? Has it changed you? Do you feel like you are a evolved person from who you were when you sort of started this?
I think so. More so in the discipline aspect, because like I said, it's a mental thing. So mentally, it's made me more disciplined. I think overall, I've been a pretty strong person in general. When I set my ways, it's very much so like, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. But I think this definitely has made me stronger mentally more than anything.
What music do you work out to when you work out? Or what music do you listen to when you work out?
No, I have a playlist. It's my motivation playlist. I've got a little bit of everything from like hip hop, Eminem, Jay-Z, Kanye West. I've got some dubstep, Skrillex, to some like heavier metal kind of stuff. I've got not techno, but even like I just recently downloaded my Fit Radio, and it kind of does like a playlist on their own with like high beat stuff, modern like top 40 songs with like, you know, like how they techno remix it with the high beat. So anything like that, just kind of get me in the mood.
You started this. Did you find yourself at times like, don't want to go to the gym?
Oh, there are plenty of days when I wake up and I'm like hardcore like gym enthusiast. I love going to the gym, but there's some days where you just wake up and you're exhausted and you're just like, I don't want to go. I don't want to do this. I don't want to eat this tilapia. I don't want to drink this water. But you got to fight through it, you know? Like,
man, what happens with those snowstorms, though, that just shut everything down? You just like...
I'm gonna get up, eat some ice cream, drink some hot chocolate with marshmallows.
Yeah, no, you fight through it, right?
And the coyotes.
There's a saying that says, you know, the only workout you regret is the one that you didn't do. So as long as you go in there and do something, at least you did something.
That's how I feel. Sometimes I go to the gym, and most of the time I'm like really into it. And it's awesome. And then sometimes I'm there, I'm just like, what is going on? Why do I just feel like not being here? We have like 20 minutes, and I'll be like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And then I leave. And then I feel like disappointed, but at least I
did something.
And
it's normal. Like those days happen. So I love the gym, but some days I'm just like, I don't feel like working out. So it happens.
We had this friend from college, and he's in Saudi Arabia. Mm-hmm. He's a fitness guy, and he lost like over 200 pounds.
Wow.
And he said like he got a gym membership. That was the first step. Then he would drive to the gym every day, but he couldn't work up the courage to leave his car. So he would like sit in his car, then he would just drive home for like 4 weeks, he said. Like 5 different times. He'd drive to the gym, realize he didn't want to work out, and then come back. And then he finally started like going there and exercising and hired a trainer. And now he's swole, like he's doing his thing. He's like a motivational speaker out in Saudi Arabia now. So like, it's just crazy how like he worked himself like the step-by-step process to become where he's at. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So how can people connect with you? Social media?
Yeah.
Are you
Instagram srobins3, Facebook Sonya Lee, and then email srobins3@gmail.com.
Are you available for hiring as a coach?
I am.
What's your clientele look like?
It ranges. Like I said, I've got men, I've got women, anywhere from late teens to late 50s, 60s. I'm training an older lady. She's 69, but you would have never guessed it. She looks really good, but she's battling osteoporosis. So it's another reason why strength training is so important, just 'cause the older you get. But anywhere from people who are looking to lose weight, put on muscle mass, tone for women. That's the clientele that I'm looking at.
All right. Do you have a website or anything?
Not a website, but email is probably your best bet to get in contact with me.
We will put that up on our program when we air it.
Perfect.
But, yeah.
Awesome.
And I have just like a final question, final thought. What? Oh, I just lost it right now. It went in my brain and then it left. Damn. All right. Well, that can be edited. That's okay. Darn it. Oh, I had it. It was a good question, too.
Good question, right?
What's that?
I said such a good question. Right?
No, it was. I was like, what's that?
Was it a good one to end on, or was it random?
I can't remember. I just know it was like, oh, this will be a fun question. And then I was like waiting for the conversation to die and then interject and ask a question. I just completely forgot what it was.
Will you set Victor up with any single fitness model, Sonya?
Yeah, that's
I
a
can
good...
try, yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Yeah.
You let me know what you like, and we'll see what
I was telling them, I was like telling Ricks before you guys got here that I was watching the Victoria's Secret fashion show the other night, and then it just clicked, and I was like, what am I doing following my friends, and they're like doing some travels or they're eating something. It's like whatever. It's like I don't care about this. Is just like spam to me. I need to start following models. That's what I'm gonna do. So I just unfollowed like half of the people on my Instagram, and then I just started following all these models and actresses, and I'm slowly dwindling away all the ordinary folk. also my friends and family, and following models.
All right.
But I'm good. You guys can, if you have any final thoughts or questions.
I think. You have anything that you want to share that we didn't cover? Or?
I think that's it.
Cool.
Stay strong, USA.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for time.
Awesome.
Sonya, thank you for coming on the
Thank
show.
you for
Can't wait to have
having
you
me.
back.
For sure.
And
Let me know
we'll
when.
be in touch.
Awesome. Sounds
Great.
good.
All right.
Thanks.
Great.
Thank you.